Okay, so in this video we are going to go through the process of filling lab sample bottles for the Madison Stream Team. And depending on the site you're visiting, you'll have either 2 or 3 different types of bottles to fill. Every site will have a bottle with a white cap and a yellow cap, and at certain sites there'll also be a red cap bottle to test for arsenic. And you should have the bottles come to you completely filled out except for the time collected, and that's something you want to fill out before you get in the creek and get the bottles wet. And you'll want to fill in the time collected so that it matches the time that's filled in on the site visit form for the site that you're at. Regardless of the cap color, the process for properly filling the bottles is all the same, except for the field blanks, which we'll talk about in a minute. But you want to, at your site, find a spot with good flow where you're not in an eddy or any sort of backwater situation, and where you're upstream of any of your stream teammates who might be kicking up sediment in the water. And you want to face upstream to collect your samples, and you start by triple rinsing your bottle. So you just want to get a little bit of water in there, put the cap on and shake it and dump it behind you so that anything you're rinsing out of the bottle doesn't end up in your final sample. And you want to do that 3 times. Once your bottle is triple rinsed and you're ready to take your sample, you want to put it down underneath the surface of the water while it's inverted, and then turn it up so that you're filling it with water that's coming from beneath the surface. And then you want to screw on the cap firmly and take it to the shore to preserve it if necessary. Alright, once your bottles are filled from the stream, it's time to preserve them. And as I mentioned before, we have white and yellow caps at every site, and at some sites a red cap as well. And provided you've filled out the time and the label is filled out completely, you're done with what you need to do with the white cap bottle. It doesn't need preservatives, so you can just store it in your cooler on ice. And the red and yellow cap bottles need to be preserved, and the lab makes it really easy to know which preservative to use with which bottle. The yellow labeled preservatives go in the yellow cap, and the red cap preservative go in your red cap sample. And to properly preserve the sample, you just want to make sure there's a bit of headspace in your sample bottle, and you just want to take the contents of the preservative bottle and make sure that you've completely poured it into your sample. And then tightly replace the cap, and then just gently invert it once or twice to disperse the preservative throughout your sample. And then just as a self-check, we like to put an X on the top of the cap once it's preserved. That way it takes out the guesswork. If you're sitting with a lot of bottles, you know which ones you've preserved and which you haven't. And after you've preserved it, you want to mark the preserved box on your data sheet. And then these are ready to be stored on ice as well.